It's Whitney Bro, and in this video, it's just going to be a chit chat get ready with me while I'm putting on my makeup for work. So if that sounds like something that you want to watch, feel free. Otherwise, I guess exit the video. I don't really know. Main thing that I think I'm just going to ramble about while I get ready. Let me open this mirror too, so I'm not trying to use the viewfinder as the mirror all the time. I wonder if you can hear that. So for Hunger Games, I'm sure somebody out there who stumbles upon this video maybe is going to be a fan of Hunger Games. And maybe they don't like makeup at all. Maybe they just like Hunger Games. I'm really, really excited about the new book. And I'm also simultaneously excited about the new movie. And I get that they're her books and that if she's happy with the end result, then we should be too, kind of thing. But I just don't love... I don't love in this most recent movie that came out, gosh, when was that? November, I think. I don't love how the movie version of Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes feels like it changed the message that you're supposed to get from it. I think the very last scene of the movie, that message kind of clicks into place and you're kind of like, oh, but the whole like journey where you should have gotten that message and it just been reinforced the whole time, I definitely feel like was not executed well from the book to the movie. Like I feel like what they chose to do and what they chose to focus on, I really feel like it changed the entire takeaway from that story. And it became something that it shouldn't have been, and Snow became somebody who was a victim. And I don't like that, because at no point is he... I mean, as a child, you could argue that he's a victim, because, like, you know, kids are innocent. It's not like he did anything to make his family be starving and shit, you know. Rachel Ziegler and whatever homeboy's name was that played Snow, they both killed it. So it's not an issue at all that I have with the acting. My issue is on the translation of the script. And I know that there are people who are like, if Suzanne Collins, hopefully that's right, but if she's okay with it, then we should be okay with it too. And I'm like, yeah, cool, whatever, like, it is her book, but I'm also, as a fan, allowed to have my not positive opinion of it. And it's not that it's bad. It is not that it's bad, because it's a good movie. My whole thing that irritates me about it, like I said, is just they changed too many things and left too many things out, so much so that you, as the viewer, come away with a completely different message than you should have left with. And it's unfortunate to me, because I think her writing is very powerful. She has a gift, and I think that's the most upsetting part, is that her gift isn't being fully appreciated the way that it should be, even in movie context, because of how it came across in the translation from book to script. And there were just a lot of character, which I get they probably had to clear their budget for Viola Davis, but there were a lot of characters that were overlooked or downright just, you know, omitted altogether. And it's unfortunate, because it's such a great story. And if you haven't read the book, read the book. I'm telling you. I'm using the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer in the shade Butta Off. This bronzer runs a little bit red on me, but I kind of like it because it kind of gives a cross between a blush and a bronzer. It almost kind of gives that like sunburnt look, which I really don't get, so it's kind of cute. I kind of like it. But do you guys have any series that you really enjoy? I obviously love Hunger Games, love Twilight, I love Harry Potter. We just pretend that a different person wrote those books now. Those books magically fell from the sky. I don't know where Harry Potter came from, but we were blessed with it. Thank you, anonymous skywriter. Because we don't give TERFs a platform over here. And if you don't know what a TERF is, I'll put it on the screen so you can understand. It's someone whose entire brand of feminism centers around the fact that trans women existing is threatening the rights of cisgender women, and it's completely inaccurate, completely false, and really just rooted in transphobia. Because someone living their authentic self and being themselves isn't taking anything away from me. There's this really cheesy quote, but it says, equality isn't pie. Just because someone is getting more rights doesn't mean you all of a sudden have less rights. It's not a finite piece of pie. We're allowed to let people have freedom of expression and be who they want to be. Miss Cuntitis, that originally wrote Harry Potter, unfortunately, is one of those people. And she's made entirely too much money off of that community with allegories to trans characters in her books to just up and have this bigoted view. It's weird. I think she's getting paid personally because it came out of nowhere. It was like, and maybe if people know her in real life, maybe that's not tea. Maybe she really actually feels that way. But from the outside looking in, it definitely felt like she, out of nowhere, all of a sudden was like, oh, I hate trans women. And you were kind of like, as a fan especially, you were kind of like, what are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? It became very uncomfortable, especially for people who are LGBTQ and found solace in her books. It's like a gigantic slap in the face. How about Twilight? Y'all like Twilight? Because let me tell you, I was a sophomore, I want to say, in high school when the first Twilight movie came out. I was a freshman when the first book came out. So I think, or no, not book. The book came out when I was in middle school. It was either freshman or sophomore year that the movie came out. Can't recall. I'll correct myself up here. I was there through the entire Twihard phase. I was there real time. Not someone talking about it after the fact. Not that you can't be a fan after the fact, because it's a good series. Anybody can love it. But I will tell you, nothing compares to the day in theaters in Breaking Dawn Part 2. Oh my gosh, that fight scene. Anybody who's watching this who was in the theater is going to know exactly what I'm talking about. But the way that people reacted to that Alice's vision with the fight scene, they were literally grown-ass adults getting up, throwing whole-ass temper tantrums in the movie theater, got up, stormed off, completely left, not finishing the movie they paid to watch because they were upset in thinking that, you know, they had altered the way that the book went, actually. And, oh man, it, like I said, there's just not, that truly is one of those you had to be there moments. And same with the transition from Twilight to New Moon, when, and again, you can watch it, but it's just not the same experience as sitting in the theater, seeing Taylor Lautner for the first time jump out in the rain, all shirtless, and you're like, whoa, didn't know he looked like that, you know, because he didn't in Twilight. He did not look like that. But, man, Twilight is such a good franchise. I've never actually read Midnight Sun, though. I know I need to. I know I'm kind of late in that regard. I really love those types of stories, very sci-fi leaning. It could have romance, doesn't have to have romance, but I've yet to find any kind of series that sparks that same just overall enthrallment, excitement within me the way that Twilight did. I think it helps that Twilight has a little sprinkle of nostalgia in there, so I definitely think that plays a part as well, because something that's been with you for most of your life at this point, you know, it is going to be more impactful than something that wasn't. I'm going in with the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, and I really have not heard enough good things about this powder and really how truly good it is. It is a magnificent product. It mattifies without getting that nasty looking crusty effect that a lot of powders, like, yeah, they'll make you matte. It's like matte, but also crusty. And this one does not give any crustiness, and it is only $8, and I just think that is so great, and I love how affordable this is, because I am a cheap bitch. If you watch my anti-haul, that's one thing to take away from my channel. Whitney is a cheap bitch. Once I'm done setting, I like to go back in with just a little bit of product on the blush brush and just kind of tap over where I set under my eyes, just to get rid of any lines I may have accidentally created. But next up, we're going to be using the NYX Bear With, you can't even read it. Can you even read it? The product's all the way down here, so it's not like showing very well, but it's the Bear With Me multitasking spray. And it's a very, very fine mist. I know that spray is going to seem like I was a little excessive, but it's a very, very fine mist. So you're really not getting a whole lot of spray at once. And for my job, I'm walking around a lot. I'm moving a lot. I'm on my feet. Not that that has anything to do with my face. I like to feel like my makeup is locked in, like rock solid, not going to go anywhere, but not rock solid, and like it feels rock solid, because that's gross. And no, I don't have a fan. Yes, I'm using a mirror as a fan. Okay, so now that I have the spray all nice and dried, not fully dried, but dried enough, I'm going to go into, what highlight should we use? Should we do something, we'll do something kind of subtle today. So I'm going to go into the Laura Geller highlighter in the shade, what is this called? Baked Gelato Lace highlighter in the shade Gilded Honey. I don't think they make this anymore, which makes me very, very sad, because it's such a good highlighter. I'll show you in just a second. Oh, I guess my whole face is showing up like a highlighter today. Thank you, skincare. Period. But no, this highlighter is just this really pretty. It can be subtle, but then you can also build it up to make it pretty impactful. I quite like it because it has a really, really pretty finish to it. After using setting spray, I find that applying your highlighter after gives it a lot better of an impact. So we've got ourselves highlighted. I'm just going to do a teeny bit across the bridge of my nose, not too much, but just enough. And now that we're all glistening and glowing, we're going to go into the e.l.f. Wow Brow. If you've watched my last video, I know you're sick of it, but it works for me. And it does what I need it to do. So you may get sick of seeing this eyebrow gel because, you know, it's going to be around a lot. Especially, it's only $5. Like, I think that's the thing too. When some people evaluate product, they forget to keep the price point of something in mind. And I'm like, for what this is able to do for me for $5, you can't beat it. It works just as good for me as the Benefit Gimme Brow does. They're kind of in between shaping right now, so please don't judge them. We're gonna let the eyebrows live because the arches are not arching right now. Okay. Off camera, I quickly applied a lip balm. We're gonna go into the Colourpop lippie stick in the shade Fab. Like, you can see that tiny little pin thing. I believe they still have these. And then I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Perfect Precision Liner in the shade Chocolate. This is from the Dramatique Boutique. And this is in the this is their gloss number 2. Ooh, I love that. Typically I go for like a clear, but that iridescence is bringing something really, really pretty to this lip. Love it. For my mascara, we're going to be using the new Lash Extender Mascara from e.l.f. This is my first time trying it. I got it in the shade Pitch Black, so we're going to see how this goes. I really do like it, though. It's doing more for me than a majority of other mascaras that I've tried, so kudos to it. So far for me, of what I expect from a mascara, just with how little results I typically get from them, this is surpassing any and all expectations, honestly. It's a little bit clumpy, but in a good way, if you can see. I really like this. I feel really pretty in this mascara, which a lot of mascaras I get and I kind of look and I'm like, did I even do anything? But I feel really great about this one. And with that mascara, it is going to complete the final look. So if you liked this chit chat, get ready with me ranting about random things, you know, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Give this video a huge thumbs up. It really does help. And thank you so much to everyone who's watching my videos. Anyone who leaves a comment, it truly makes my day. It means the world to me. I know people say it all the time and it kind of seems like they don't mean it. But for teeny tiny YouTubers like myself, it truly, truly does mean the world. And every view, I'm like, oh my gosh, a person's on my face. So thank you again. I really can't say thank you enough. And if you enjoyed this video, stay tuned because there's definitely going to be more like it. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.